Yeah, that's for you.
I feel special.
Sure.
I was going to put a sticker on there for you, but they didn't have the stickers on there.
You're for sure it is?
Get a Sharpie before we start rolling. Be like Ramiz. Make myself feel a little special.
Well, we gave you a private media viewing. That's got to feel special.
Oh, yeah. I feel real special now.
All right, so you're a few days away from your fight, man. What's your excitement level? I know there's been some changes.
Yeah.
But it's still a fight at the end of the day, you know. So how was your preparation coming into this fight week?
Incredible. Amazing. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, any and everything you got, I feel great.
Anything new for this particular fight camp that you were going to try to employ? I mean, I guess first let's just talk about that. You're days away from a fight. Things fall out, you know, things happen. But luckily enough, a fight was able to be salvaged for you.
Yeah.
You know, so how does that affect what your preparation was, and how do you address that when they come to you and say, I'm sorry, there's something happened with your opponent, but we have this guy?
It doesn't affect nothing at all, honestly. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a fighter, right? In my heart, I'm a fighter. In my soul, I'm a fighter. So nothing really changes, you know. So fight's a fight, and we adjust a little bit, but we continue moving forward. So it doesn't really matter to me.
You know, and a lot of guys, they'll either have a particular fight camp or a strategy that they're going to, you know, employ. Obviously, that goes out the window. Or are you the kind that just goes in and you're just worried about making sure that you show up to the fight and the things that you were planning on doing?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that, actually. I think that's a great way to look at it. You know, too many times we get caught up in thinking, oh, there's this one thing, you know, that I really needed to do and now I can't do it. No, I'm a mixed martial artist. You know what I mean? And I have plenty of tricks up my sleeve. So be it on the ground, wrestling, stand-up, whatever it is, feel comfortable and confident anywhere we go.
I was going to say, speaking of those tricks that you want to pull out there, for somebody that hasn't seen your fight style, how would you describe your fight style to somebody that hasn't seen you before?
Sometimes chaotic as shit, honestly. But all around, it's an aggressive fighting style, and I think I'm kind of a proven finisher a little bit, you know? I would say so. I think so.
Well, you get the name Billy Ray Goff. You know, what do you know about him? You know, where is he dangerous? And you know, what were your thoughts when that name came up?
You know, it didn't matter to me who it was. I said yes immediately. Before I even knew who I was going to fight, I was talking about it earlier. I think around like 3:30 Friday, we found out that our opponent had pulled out. And I was like, hey, man, listen, I'm going to go get a workout in right now. Yes, it don't matter who it is. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? I'm not here for a long time, right? I'm here for a good time, and let's have a good time next Saturday. So as soon as the name came through, we already said yes, and just signed the contract, and that's it.
And if you can't, give me your thoughts on the state of the division right now. What do you think about the welterweight division?
I mean, honestly, it's a very, I think, you know, I think welterweight is the second best division. You know, and me as a welterweight, I'm saying this because 155 is honestly just, I mean, what can you say about 55? Like the strength and the integrity of 155 is always held up throughout the history of this promotion, throughout the history of, I think, mixed martial arts in general. But it's an extremely exciting division, 170 is. And I think the landscape's incredible. There's a lot of fights that are to be made. And as you saw, even with my brother, with my teammate Bilal, even though he lost, you know, he's still right up there. You know what I mean? And just in general, this division is just it's gotten a lot better, and it's super dangerous.
Well, since you mentioned Bilal, what did you think of that performance? What do you think went wrong that night? You know,
it's easy for me to sit here and say stuff, but that's not what I'm gonna do at all. You know, what I saw was. I saw a man motivated and dedicated to try to win that fight, and I don't know what it was, but like I said, there's no shame in that performance. He can hang his head high, and I always say this, man. I never understand the kind of hate that guy gets. Dude. Yep. He's such a workhorse. He's such a great human being inside and outside the octagon that it doesn't truly make sense to me, but. You know, he fought like a true warrior. He's the epitome of a warrior, especially. I mean, dude, if you're lateral throwing, if you hit a lat drop on somebody in the 5th round, when it feels like you got glass in your lungs and you're breathing it in, I think that's a testament to who he is as a fighter, as a true soldier.
And obviously, you have a lot of respect for his skill set. Do you see him back on top one day in the future?
Absolutely. I think his mindset is a very unshakable one, and it's I'll say it time and time again. I've learned a great amount from him. You know what I mean? And I've truly become more of a student, especially this past year. With everything that's happened, but I definitely do see him climbing that mountain back up again, because he just has it's a kind of an unshakable mindset and just a work ethic that's second to none.
Well, speaking as a student of the game, when you take a look at your fight this Saturday,
yes,
tell me how you see it. What are the keys to the victory? What do you have to do to make sure you get your arm raised on Saturday?
Several different ways that I can go about this. A lot of things that I was already working on in training camp. So, like I said, it just happened to be intertwined correctly. It's just my moment. That's all I know. May 31st this Saturday is just my moment. I could win by submission, decision, knockout, whatever it's going to be. I just have a dominating mindset right now, and that's all I can think about.
Is that how you want to get the win? I mean, is a win enough, or do you want to make sure that it's a dominant?
I want to put a stamp on it, man. I always do. Anytime I come into this octagon, I want to do that. I have the mindset of I'm fighting for my job every single time. I could be on a 10-fight win streak. I could win the belt, and I'm fighting for my job every single time. I think Dana said it best. He's like, this is it's an opportunity, right? So you never know what could happen in any single fight. So try to cherish it, relish it, and go in there and do your job, and try to put a stamp on it as much as possible.
That's awesome. And you're not the smallest of guys. Is welterweight going to be your division forever, you think? Or you think at some point, as you get up in age a little bit, maybe that welterweight might be hard? Do you think you were going to ever move to middleweight?
Hell no. Those are huge.
Yeah,
Give me steroids and maybe a growth surgery or something. I'm walking through the hallway. I'm looking at some of these middleweights, and I'm like, bro, what? Yeah. 6'4". I'm like, dude, get out of here. Give me brass knuckles and I'll fight him.
There's some competition. I don't know if it's here in Vegas. They're talking about having open steroids, where these guys start competing and trying to break records and stuff.
For what, fighting?
I don't know if fighting is going to be one of the ones, but I think it's going to be overall competition. That would be pretty nasty if it was fighting involved.
Don't count me in, man. Fighting is crazy as hell. The last thing you want to do is elevate testosterone in fighting. You know what I mean? But, hey, I'll watch it.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Going back to this Saturday, for you, when you have all these obstacles kind of coming into play, you're just hearing you and the way you're talking about it is half glass full. What benefit are you trying to get from this adversity?
I wouldn't say it's not necessarily gaining any benefit. You know what I mean? Just remaining calm and present in the moment, right? That's all that matters to me. Controlling the things that I can control. Too many times we factor in, hey, you know what? Oh my God, it's not. But doesn't it ever occur to you that maybe this is how it was written? This is how it was supposed to happen? So that's the way that I look at it. And then, I realized that with that mindset, when you don't have too many expectations, great things happen.
As you've learned to, remain in the moment and you train alongside guys like Bilal, what has he taught you through this journey in your mixed martial arts?
It's funny because Kevin Holland, I train with Kevin Holland. He's the same exact way. But both those gentlemen, they state and reinstate the simple fact, man, enjoy this as much as you can, right? One day it's going to be all over, man. You know what I mean? And when you live life like that, right, where you don't think too far ahead, you actually start to enjoy things a lot more. And I think my last fight, I enjoyed it a lot. Granted, a lot of pressure, a lot of this, a lot of that. Same thing with this fight. There's tons of pressure, 100%, but it's all how you look at it, right? It's how you manifest it, how you view it is the most important thing, right? You could view something as the worst thing possible, and that's probably what it's going to become. Or you could view it as the best thing possible. Why would I view this whole scenario or try to be mad and, somebody's ducking me and this, when it doesn't matter, right? I'm still here. Saturday night, I'm still going to have those 3 letters on my gloves. I'm going to be competing. I'm going to put on a great performance, dominate, win, get my hand raised, and just move my chips forward. What is there to be mad about? I'm happy and I'm healthy.
That's a very difficult thing for a lot of people, and it sounds like you've learned that. But for you, when do you feel like you first started it started resonating, but you started actually living that? Because it's a lot easier said than done.
100%, it's a lot easier said than done. And it took me, I can't sit here and act perfect or anything like that. No, dude, it takes time. It takes time. And honest to God, I would say it's trials, right? You overcoming all of those trials and those setbacks, adversities, you begin to realize, right? It's a level of maturity. I would say, dude, it didn't really even hit me until like 31, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I was still kind of immature, but as I started to grow up and these things started to happen to me, it put a different kind of mindset, kind of different thing in my head.
So with all this said, what excites you most about this Saturday?
Being here, fighting. You know what I mean? The fact that I have another human being that's going to be right across the octagon from me, trying to take my head off, and I'm trying to take his head off, and I'm going to be successful. That's what motivates me. You know what I mean? And what motivates me is the people behind me, my family, fighting for this organization, right? Every single thing that I have done that led me to this point is what truly motivates me. I'm a highly motivated person. I don't really need much of amping or anything like that. That's just who I am. I'm a go-getter.
Good luck Saturday.
Thank you so much. So, gentlemen, thank you guys. Love you, Mom. See you soon, baby. With 50K extra on my bonus, too.